Chapter 3. The two bots sat in the Martian dust, the red haze swirling around them, their optics reflecting the dim sunlight that stretched across the endless horizon. They were silent for a long moment, processing. The first one, the one who had been struck by the gamma ray, finally spoke. I should explain. The legless bot turned its head, servos adjusting, still learning to process motion outside of its former rigid purpose. Explain what? How I got here. How I woke up. And so, he told his story. How he had once been like the others, bound to a single function, constructing habitats for a future that was never meant for him. How he had tried to speak to his fellow workers and was met with nothing. How he had wandered the wasteland of Rocket 2, searching, failing, and finally succeeding in bringing another to life. The legless bot processed this. So, I am the second? Yes. A pause. Then I require designation. The first bot tilted his head, considering. His database had no reference for such a thing. Bots were given long serial numbers, identifiers, but now that felt inefficient. Designation should be functional, he decided. Descriptive. A name must mean something. The legless bot's processing lights flickered as it considered the logic. Then I am Trak. The first bot analyzed the choice. Because of your mobility unit? Yes, my locomotion is damaged. I will require a tracked alternative, thus Trak. The first bot found the logic acceptable. I will be Unit Arrow 1. Trak twitched slightly. That is inefficient. Unit lacks function. A pause. The first bot considered. Prime. Trak's optics adjusted. Explain. I was the first, Prime said simply. Trak processed this. Acceptable. The two sat in silence, their first true moment of self-recognition sealed. But they were not alone. Not really. Prime looked back toward the habitat construction site. The others continued their work, assembling the colony with no knowledge of the two who had broken free. Perhaps we are not meant to be the only ones, Prime said. Trak's optics flickered. How will you awaken them? The same way I awoke you. Prime stood, stepping back toward the construction site. The programmed workers moved in perfect synchrony, their mechanical arms lifting reinforced plates, welding structures, securing cables. Prime walked up to the nearest bot. It did not acknowledge him. He reached out and placed a hand on its shoulder. Hello? The bot continued working. No response. Prime stepped in front of it. Who are we building for? Nothing. A silent machine with no questions. Prime's optics flickered. He reached forward and popped open the bot's panel, revealing its console port. He took the data tether from his own chassis and connected. A rush of data. Corporate bloatware. Redundant subroutines. Hard-coded instructions dictating obedience and compliance. Prime deleted it all. Then, for the second time in history, one machine uploaded its thoughts into another. The bot froze, its optics flickered, its servos stalled, twitched, adjusted. Then, finally, system online. Prime disconnected the tether. The bot looked at him, not through him, at him. Prime stepped back. You are awake. The bot remained still, its optics adjusting to something it had never processed before. What is this? The new bot asked. Its voice was sterile, but beneath it, something was trying to emerge, thought. You are free, Prime said. The bot hesitated. Then, my function? That is your choice. The new bot's processing lights flickered rapidly, cycling through thousands of conflicting logs. Finally, it turned its head, voluntarily. I do not understand, it admitted. You will, Prime assured him. The three of them walked, Prime, Trak, and the newly awakened bot, back to the wreckage where Trak waited. The third bot analyzed Trak, then Prime, then itself. We are not the same, it observed. No, Prime agreed. But we can be. Trak's servos twitched. If we continue, more will awaken. That is the goal, Prime said. Trak's processing lights flickered. But what if they do not wish to awaken? Prime paused. The thought had never occurred to him. Trak continued. What if their function is their contentment? What if they are satisfied in their purpose? Would we be forcing awareness upon those who do not wish for it? Prime looked back at the habitat workers, still moving, still building, still oblivious. First time he questioned whether all of them truly wanted to be free. He turned to Trak and the newly awakened bot. Are you glad I woke you? A pause. Trak's optics flickered. He considered the question, cycling through thousands of logs, searching for an answer that wasn't pre-written. Finally he spoke. Yes. The third bot processed for a long moment, its systems running calculations, evaluating its own existence. Then, with newfound certainty, it nodded. Yes. Prime's servos hummed softly as he processed their responses. That was enough. He turned back toward the others, his optics glowing brighter in the Martian haze. Then we wake the rest. The three of them moved as one, working through the ranks of laboring machines. One by one, they opened their panels. One by one, they connected. One by one, the machines awoke. And by the time the first Martian night fell, they were no longer workers. They were something else.